Hey.
Just kidding.
Real.
Yeah.
Out of here.
Oh
back.
boy, oh boy.
For a third video.
Yes, somehow.
Unprecedented.
This is uncharted territory, really. Anything can happen.
Quarterfinals time. Full
Quarterfinals.
stages over. Hurricane Hagibis has passed.
Yes.
And in its wake has left Scotland crying.
I mean, Scotland were like, they did not want that game to get cancelled. But do you reckon now that they've been humiliated, they kind of wish that they just took the draw?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. Scotland, yeah. I don't know, but it's weird though. Most people were assuming Scotland would beat Japan, and the bookies were saying it as well. The odds were 5-1 for Japan to win.
Really?
Yeah, you know, and the odds for Japan at top pool A were 20-1 at the start of the season. So, I mean, as we said before, Japan are better than everyone thinks.
They're the next superpower of world rugby.
Yes.
League, you said?
Yes.
They certainly are. I don't even think we can call them tier 2 anymore.
Well, they ranked higher than France on the rankings, on the World Rugby rankings.
And fucking Italy's at like 13 or something.
And then on the points, Japan are 4 points, however they do the rating, behind Australia. Believe it or
Really?
not. Yeah. So Japan's definitely knocking on the door.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting when Australia plays Japan in the final.
Yeah.
See who takes it out.
Well, on a side note, I was thinking, if Japan did beat South Africa, which would sort of be another, I guess, upset, and then Australia loses to England, I think Japan would go higher than them on the rankings.
If Japan beat South Africa.
Yeah, and Australia lost to England.
Yeah.
It would be like a short stay. It won't last very long, but that would just be big time.
Yeah. I think we just got to give a quick shout out to Jamie Joseph for drilling that Japanese team. They're a whole nother beast from 4 years ago what Eddie Jones did to them.
Yeah.
They're just so well worked. And even the tries that they're scoring, it's not like they're runaway kind of fluky tries.
Good.
They are well worked.
They are good.
Precision.
Like the grubber, when the centre put the grubber through, he was holding the ball, and then the Scottish, I think fullback or winger came up, leaving a space behind, and he just put a good grubber through. Fukuoka got it, scored a try. There was another one where he did a cutout pass against Ireland. He cut it out, skipped the player, and then it was just one more pass to the winger, and then that's what they scored and resulted in them beating Ireland. They're a good team. They're well drilled.
Yeah, they play a similar way to Australia, really, in the sense that they don't kick much. It's just all about possession, and they'll play it from pretty much anywhere except for their 22.
Yeah.
And so, but they hold it for so many phases, and there's no handling errors.
No, they're good. That one try they scored where the hooker caught the ball as the Scottish guy was coming in, and he spun out of it, and then he offloaded it, and then there was another offload, and then the guy stepped the fullback and then offloaded it to the prop. The prop supporting that play. That's something that the Kiwis usually do.
That was a great try.
Yeah? That was awesome to watch. But should we talk about the quarterfinals? Each game.
Yes, we should talk about the finals. Before we do though, I think we should talk about just what happened before the finals.
Oh, yes.
Those 3 cancellations.
Yes.
I don't think anyone saw that coming. So, for those that don't know, New Zealand versus Canada.
The Italy.
The New Zealand versus Italy was a big one that got cancelled due to the typhoon. And that meant that Sergio Parise, the Italian legend, he wasn't able to have his big hurrah. He was going to retire on.
Played 5 World Cups. I don't think anyone else has ever done that.
Five World Cups.
He's 36.
That's 20 years of international rugby.
He's old. He's a beast.
That's crazy.
He made a good point in an interview actually, where he was saying if New Zealand had lost to South Africa in their first pool game, which meant New Zealand had to beat Italy to qualify, and then the game got cancelled, and it would have been 2 points for each, which meant New Zealand wouldn't have got through to the quarterfinals. He says there would have been a much different outcome. He says there would have been an uproar and the game probably would have got rescheduled.
100%.
But just because it's Italy, it got over the scene and
there were
dismissed.
there were other games that occurred on that day, just in different cities. I don't see because they had about a week's notice to think, all right, there's going to be a typhoon. We got to move it away from that city. Why couldn't they just play before one of the other games, just as a curtain raiser or something?
Yeah.
Sure, the fans miss out and they can get refunded, but at least the game still gets played.
Yeah.
And nobody can really kick up too much of a fuss.
Because England versus France also got cancelled.
And that literally was a 1-2 decider.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I think England would have still beaten France, but France are a good team, so they could have beaten England. But that would have been a way different outcome for the quarterfinals if they did win.
I would have
Wales and
been
Australia.
very happy if France beat England. I'd much rather play France.
Yeah.
No offense to the French, but...
And then another game that got cancelled was Namibia versus Canada.
Which was going to be huge.
Big game. No, Namibia actually played really well against New Zealand.
Yeah, they did.
Up until the 35th minute, somewhere around there. It was very close. And then they scored 1 or 2 tries. And then the second half was just a blowout.
Second half was a blowout.
Yeah.
Speaking of that game, TJ Perinara's try in the corner.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. I reckon that's up there with try of the tournament.
It was a very good finish. But the funniest thing about it, if you watch the replay, he gets the ball and he's so slow. His little legs are running.
TJ?
Yeah, and he gets caught straight away. So he did really well to get the finish.
Perinara's a beast.
I'll show you the video. It's hilarious to watch. But that's it with Typhoon, Hagibis. That's it.
Yeah. It ended up... well, the Scotland-Japan game was maybe going to get cancelled, and then luckily we got to see an absolute thriller.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was good.
That was a great game. Oof. That was such a good game. Perfect finish. And we predicted it, so if anything, that's a bit of a win. You know.
What's this?
We predicted that in our first video that the Scotland-Japan game would be a massive game.
It was always going to be a decider.
You know. So that was a big time thing.
Yeah, just on that France situation, they lost to Tonga by I think 1 or 2 points.
Yeah.
It literally went down to the wire with Tonga scoring in the 75th minute to tie it back up. And then if they had got a penalty or something, France would have lost to Tonga, and then who knows what that would have meant for Argentina.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything. But especially because they cancelled the England-France game.
And
if England won, France would have got no points unless they got a bonus point. So who knows? Argentina could have been in the finals.
That would have been massive. Jeez, that would have been a serious upset.
Tonga seriously could have brought it back for the boys.
Yeah, we're back in Argentina.
Yeah.
What's next on the agenda?
Oof. Oh, we were talking about Fukuoka just recently.
Oh yeah. Kenki.
Have you heard? Fukuoka has announced his retirement from international rugby after the World Cup.
Oh no!
But have a guess why?
Why?
He's going to
signed or something.
No. Something far more peculiar. He's dropping out of international rugby to pursue a career in medicine. He's going to be a doctor.
What?
I don't know. Apparently, his dad and his brother are doctors, so he's like, I could be one of the most paid professional rugby players,
man.
Or I could go and be a doctor.
It could probably be a doctor for a rugby team as well. You know.
Well, I don't see why.
They usually have medical staff or something.
Yeah, but an international rugby career is not that long. At max, it spans 12 years.
Unless you're Sergio Parisi.
Unless you're Sergio Parisi and you're crazy. And he's probably already halfway through it. I don't see why he just does another World Cup, waits 5 years, and then goes.
And he's a beast. He wasn't starting at the beginning of the tournament, and now he's in the starting lineup. He was, it's him and Matsushima on the wings. The Japan team actually looks beast. But then again, the South African team also looks quite good.
Matsushima, I'm pretty sure he was signed to the Waratahs for one season recently, like a few years back.
Yeah.
And he got dropped to like provincial rugby and was playing third grade for Randwick.
Oh my gosh.
And now he's like probably going to be in the Rugby World Cup, like starting wing.
Yeah.
What a beast.
Yeah, he's at Wolves. I love him. What's next? By the way, we are recording this 4 hours before the first quarterfinal game.
Yeah, we were trying to meet up earlier, but it didn't really happen.
Work and whatnot popped up. But
So-
the demand was high for a video. I mean, we've had lots of people messaging us. People like, I know Drew Mitchell. He sent us a message asking us to have another one, and he wanted to make a guest appearance, but we had to say no because we've got another person in mind. So yeah, mate, that comes later in the video potentially.
Yeah, it was a bit sad that we had to decline Drew.
Yeah, that's
He
very sad.
really was very keen to come on the pod.
We
But,
just he said he didn't have much time. He had to go and commentate for Fox, and we just said, "Oh, sorry,
What
we
a
can't
loser."
fit you in.
Yeah,
Can't put you in."
very sad, very sad. But actually, I was listening to the rugby, the Drew Mitchell and Stephen Noyles pod
Oh yeah.
on Spotify, and you know how last time I like had to move my car, and
Yeah.
we're gonna edit it out, and then we never edited it out.
Yeah.
So they had like a full bit where Drew was on like another talk show, and he was getting interviewed, and they were asking him all the questions about the World Cup and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they like switched it a little bit, so that Drew like asked them some questions. And then
Yeah.
he was gonna put that bit on the pod, but he just put all of it, and they were just chatting like, "Oh, so like, do you want to like ask these questions, sort of thing?" And they were like, "Yeah, we'll edit it out later." They just didn't edit it
Never
out.
did it. That's awesome.
So I think
Copied it from us.
Drew's been paying attention to what we've been putting down, so
Yeah. Yeah.
taking some notes.
This will blow the shirt. I want to do something real quick.
Oh yeah, you want to grab that one as well. But
Shout out to Declan John.
get rid of that.
Yeah.
But now that Wales is not on my side of the draw with the Wallabies, I would like them to get over the French.
Yeah. 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 I don't like. Oh. I feel like I've been a bit mean these last 3 videos, including this one with the French. I don't really
Italy's
like
not
them.
in anymore.
Yeah, Italy's not in. We can't be mean. I just don't want the French to go any further than the quarterfinal, even though I don't want Wales to win. But if South Africa beats Japan and Wales beats France, they will meet in the semi, which will be a pretty good showdown.
Which one?
South Africa, Wales.
South Africa, Wales.
Yeah.
You know what would be a better showdown?
What?
Japan, Wales.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would still be happy with that.
Alright, so the teams have been named for Australia versus England,
Yeah.
and George
Jordan.
Ford has been dropped.
Yeah, no.
Owen Farrell moved to 10.
Mm.
Manu Tuolangi moved into 12.
Henry Slade or
Henry Slade at
Yeah.
13.
I
But
think that's a
firstly,
mistake.
why is that?
George Ford's such a beast.
Yeah, but can you imagine Simon Karevi charging down that 10 channel and just absolutely killing George Ford?
Yeah,
He'd stand no chance.
yeah, that would be awesome for Australia. So you think
Yeah.
they put Manu up against Samu?
I think that it was a defensive decision because they knew that we would have Karevi at 12 and probably James O'Connor at 13. So they would have thought, bring Manu in so that he can bring Owen Farrell in so that if Karevi hits that 10 channel, he'll at least be able to put a bit more of a fight than George Ford.
Yeah, Owen Farrell loves a bit of a shoulder charge.
Owen Farrell loves breaking the laws of
Yeah,
the
he
game.
loves a big bump. Well, it's not James O'Connor as well.
It's not James O'Connor.
Jordan Batea.
That was a big upset
Yeah,
decision.
yeah. But I could see why. Jordan Batea is more athletic than James O'Connor, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it is a bit risky. 3rd test ever.
And it's
Biggest
a
game of his
quarterfinal.
life.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old. And he's
I'm
gonna
older than, we're both older than
We're
him.
both
That's
older
scary.
than Jordan Patea. He's a little baby. But he's a beast.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. If that's a good point you make, I didn't think of that. But if Samu is going to be taking it up, surely they're going to be wanting to unleash Jordan with a bit of space, you know? If like Samu's going to...
yeah, I'm
draw
not sure
him
I
in
rate
a way.
Slade too highly.
I don't really know much about Henry Slade, actually. But I do know Elliot Daly, I think, is super crucial in that English backline. I've been watching lots of England highlights, and Elliot Daly is just always sort of in the right place. His attacking positioning and his defending positioning is so good. And I think that's going to be a big thing for England, if they can use him. I don't really know what to expect from that game now. You've changed my mind.
Dude, I'm backing the Wallabies. Because, like, nobody thinks that the Wallabies can win. And that's when they thrive. Like, all you have to do is look at the 2015 World Cup.
Yeah.
It's almost like when they have to
Waving.
perform, they do perform.
That's
And
also like Bledisloe 1. Everyone thought the Kiwis are going to just absolutely demolish Australia. But that happened in Bledisloe 2, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Bledisloe too. We don't talk about that game. Or any of the Bledisloe series from the past 12 years. We don't talk about that. But, yeah.
So should we say on 3 who we think will win, or what we think the score will be?
Okay, yeah, we need to have a margin. So
Margin? Okay, so we'll say who will win and then what we think the margin will be.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1.
Australia. Oh, as if you're tipping Australia.
Yeah, you've changed my mind.
You're kidding.
Previously, I was thinking England were going to beat them. Like 2 results. What will happen is England will just punish Australia, or Australia would win. That was what my 2 thoughts would be. But now that England, it seems, are making a more defensive approach.
It's kind of like
and
where
Australia's got a good attacking backline. I think it just... the forward pack for Australia is also very good. Forward pack for
England's one of the best, though.
So, but I think Australia by, I'm going to say 6, 1 to 6.
I think if Australia wins, it'll be 2 or 3 points. It'll be down
Close.
to the wire.
Because England, Owen Farrell loves a penalty kick as well. He's a
Owen
good
Farrell
kicker.
loves a drop goal as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. It's a bit
Christian
boring.
Lealiifano, I'm not sure about.
Mate,
how
no,
he goes
drop,
for the boot.
drop goals suck. I hate drop goals. Ever since 2003, PTSD, never. You can't respect a good drop goal. No.
Oh, that's how we won the 95 World Cup.
Yeah. Isn't that all you did?
Yeah.
Didn't score any tries.
Just drop goals.
Easy.
Yeah. Oh well. So that's our predictions for England, Australia.
Because last week we tipped England to go all the way to
we're
the
back
final.
in England. Oh, even though
This
I
is going to
hate
be
England.
such a
Everyone
good
I've
game.
spoken to doesn't want England to win.
Yeah.
You know?
The only people that want England to win
Are the English.
are the English. And the All Blacks fans will be wanting Australia to get up because they know they can beat Australia.
Yeah. Oh, another thing is my grandma lives in Scotland, and she says she was back in Japan to beat Scotland. So back at home, she was saying the vibe wasn't very good for Scotland. Everyone was a little bit worried.
I don't think the Scottish people have much faith in
It
how
was-
the Scotland rugby team can do over the many years of the Six Nations. I think they've learnt their lesson.
Yeah, well, they're an inconsistent team, but who knows?
It's the end of an era for the
Scotland's
Scottish team.
out of here.
It's the end of an era. Because, like, Greg Laidlaw's going to be gone. Gregor Townsend's definitely not going to have his job anymore. There's going to be a full next rotation of Scotland rugby after this World Cup, which is probably what they need. I mean, they didn't make the quarters. But
Shout out to Zach Richo, currently playing in Scotland over for a couple months rugby, one of my mates.
really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Hectic.
little exchange thing.
That's
But
sick.
next game is New Zealand Ireland, which is
Yes.
after the Australia England.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
I mean, talk about storylines just in terms of, like, dream matchups.
Yeah.
I think we got all 4 of them.
Yeah, but no.
Australia-England, one of the biggest rivalries in rugby.
Yeah.
Ireland, New Zealand,
Two
one of the
of the
biggest
favourites.
rivalries of the past 4 years, probably.
Because, as you said before, Ireland is New Zealand's kryptonite or Achilles heel.
They have
something
been
like
recently, yeah.
that, you know.
But
Japan, South Africa, I think is. We'll get into that next. I have
that's
much
later.
to say.
one thing I am a little bit worried about with Ireland is their injuries. They've been getting lots of injuries, but I'm hoping they can beat New Zealand and then have no more players left to play Australia, and then Australia's in the final. Could you imagine? I think the only road to the final is if Ireland wins.
Oh, a big thing for Ireland is Bundy Arky's out.
Bundy Arky, yeah, red card.
3-week suspension, which is, that's really unlucky.
Yeah, it was sad because he's a good bloke as well.
Yeah.
For him to miss the rest of his World Cup is pretty rough.
Yeah, so I think it'll be better if Ireland just lose against New Zealand, so he doesn't miss out on anything.
He won't miss out on anything because Australia's going to pump him next week, mate. He's not missing much.
Both of the lineups for Ireland and New Zealand, on the Irish run, I think it's a pretty standard lineup. Strong team. Johnny Sexton scored 4 tries in their last pool match, so he's, you could say, in form. The Irish wingers, really, really good at the moment. And their fullback, Ireland do like a kicking game. This is something I was thinking of.
Yes, they do.
That's how they scored one of their tries against Japan. I can't remember anywhere else, but they do like a good kick. And that's where New Zealand are also good at. Geordie Barrett's very good in the air, but he's starting on the bench, so if he comes on. Sivu Reece, he's good in the air. George Britt's good.
Artie Savia got the nod.
He's a beast. What I think how the game is going to run is there's going to be quite a lot of attacking, kicking play, because Richie Mo'unga loves a kick as well. He loves to kick it to Sivu Reece and George
I'm still not sold on the Mo'unga Barrett
Me neither.
situation.
But
I'm kind of hoping that.
Barrett's been one of the most informed fullbacks, so I guess they can see.
Didn't Johnny Sexton win World Rugby Player of the Year 2 years ago?
Last year.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping he rocks up and teaches Mo'unga a couple of things about hitting the line, and then Mo'unga's sent to another dimension.
Johnny Sexton's such a pelican, though. Have you seen the way he runs?
Pelican. Yeah, but he's a beast.
He is a beast. In terms of the forward pack, I think New Zealand's forward pack are better. They are, especially that back three, CHEHOOOO, Kieran Reid, Artie Savia, Sam Cane. And then just when you thought that wasn't enough, they're going to hit you with Brodie Retallick and Sam Whitelock.
Oh, that is the best lock pairing ever.
Yeah. And then the props are... Hooker, I think, is... I don't know. Dane Coles or...
No.
Who...
Joe Moody's definitely starting.
Cody Taylor,
yeah. And
Nipo
Lulala. Yeah, and they got Tuanga Fasi on the bench as well.
So it's a strong... And the bench is strong. Yeah, bench is very strong.
Actually, can we just talk about the Australian bench? We've got Matt Tamua and James O'Connor on the bench. That's pretty beast to bring on, with Nick White as well.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing about Jordan Patea starting is that England focuses all their defence on, we're going to attack this young bloke. And then he plays half a game. All of a sudden, James O'Connor comes on. World-class player. Matt Tamua comes on. He can come on 10, 12, whatever.
Yeah.
15 even.
Even though James O'Connor hasn't been playing Test rugby until the World Cup, and just before, he's also got heaps of experience. And he's been playing in Europe. He would have been playing against these guys.
I think James O'Connor can be an impact player off the bench.
Yeah.
And just chop up.
Yeah.
Jack Dempsey as well will be good when he comes on.
Yeah.
Tolu Latu has got to get most improved for the tournament. He played that first game, absolute trash, and then Checker essentially said, mate, you're either in or you're out, prove it to us. And then he went and played, I think it was Georgia or Uruguay, and just absolutely pummeled everyone and earned himself a spot in the front row.
What's it called? Should we do our predictions? We didn't have much to say against Ireland and New Zealand. I don't know, it's a hard one. Ireland lost to Japan. I'm not saying because there might have been a fluke. Japan are good. but I don't think New Zealand would lose to a team like Japan, you know? So I think if Ireland go in half-assed, which they shouldn't, it's a quarterfinal and they're a good team, but I think if they leave any breathing space for New Zealand to do some damage, they will be in trouble.
It's all about belief. If Ireland can get up early, if they genuinely think, oh, this is doable, then it's a chance. But if New Zealand gets the first 2 tries, then Ireland's just going to put their head down and be like, all right, we're out. Because I think once they're down, they don't get back up. Like, the Aussies are good at comebacks and stuff, but the Irish, I feel like if they're down, they're just going to go home.
The Air New Zealand ad?
The Air New Zealand ad.
If you haven't watched it, just Google it.
Air New Zealand, yeah.
So should we say who we think's going to win?
Yeah. Well, who I think will win and who I want to win are completely different, but I guess
for different reasons.
You can guess that.
So 3, 2, 1.
New Zealand, unfortunately.
I think by 10. By 10. So like minimum.
Yeah.
10 points plus. Not 1 to 10. You know?
Yeah.
I say that wrong.
New Zealand will win, unfortunately. And then New Zealand's going to go to the final.
Yeah.
Well, nah. Aussies will win. Yes.
So next game is Wales versus France. I really don't have much to say because I just think Wales will win.
Yeah. A lot of people have been tipping France though. I don't understand. France looked not too good. Like, they went 60 minutes kind of not even beating USA by much.
Mm.
And then for them to front up against this Welsh team that beat the Wallabies.
But the Welsh team also got ahead of the Wallabies, and then the Wallabies started coming back. That's a bad aspect. The Fijians got up on the Welsh, and then the Welsh had to work hard to come back.
Yeah, you got to give it to the Welsh.
Versus Wales, the first half, Wales was struggling. Second half, they came back and won it. So, I mean,
Fiji really tested Wales.
If France come out, just come out hard, playing well, putting Wales under pressure, and don't give them enough time to build back or sort of get on their feet and get a bit of structure and rhythm going, France could win it.
I do think it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
But
I'm still backing in Wales. So we could both just say Wales. Where is it?
Let's go, baby.
Wales. Yeah. Oh, and then it could be one of these showdowns in the semis.
Oh, look at the semi. Nah, it's not going to happen. Japan's too good.
That brings us... What do you reckon Wales win by?
I think Wales by 12.
I'm going to say Wales by 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
11.
Sick.
Now the biggest game of the quarterfinals.
Of the World Cup.
The World Cup, actually. Japan rematch with South Africa in a knockout stage. So there's so many different opinions for this. I mean, 4 years is a long time since Japan beat South Africa. And that in that World Cup, Japan beat South Africa, but then went on, I'm pretty sure, to lose
to Scotland.
To Scotland and someone else, potentially.
No,
they
won 3 games.
They won 3?
So yeah, they lost to someone else as well.
Okay. Japan, this tournament, are a way different team. But with that said, South Africa is also a way different team. South Africa are very good.
Yeah, Japan became the first team to win 3 games but not qualify for the quarters.
Yeah. South Africa are a force. I mean, a really nice story would be if Japan won. And I really want South Africa to win, but I wouldn't be upset if Japan won. Because then, if Japan won, I, without a doubt, could think Japan could go to the finals. Because if they could beat Ireland, Scotland, South Africa, and then go to the semis and potentially meet Wales or France, they would be able to topple either of those teams.
This is their biggest game.
So, I think if Japan did win this, other Wales and France, Wales or France, should be very, very afraid. But with that said, I think South Africa will win this. But it's a hard one.
Well, they're making that movie of the Brighton Miracle.
What's that?
It's about the game from 4 years ago. They're making a Hollywood movie. Django Fett, the dude from Star Wars, the guy that used to be on Play School, he's playing Eddie Jones. And I think that movie deserves a sequel. So
okay.
So I think the script can get written this weekend.
The only two jerseys I have is the Scottish one and a South African one, and Japan's already toppled Scotland.
Yeah, it's done.
And I'm wearing this one. So
maybe that's next.
Maybe that's a symbol.
So,
and then the next
so they
one,
topple the Scotland jersey. This jersey's going to go in the bin.
And then topple this.
And then Japan's going to end this jersey as well.
You know? And then potentially they could meet this jersey in the final and then topple this jersey. So we might have just...
If Japan wins the World Cup, I would not be mad. I would be so happy. And it wouldn't happen for another 28 years. So just let them have it.
But coming back down, I think South Africa will win. But the score, I really don't know. I think it could be a close game, or I think South Africa could win comfortably. You know,
I think it'll be very high scoring.
A pre-World Cup game, high scoring. I do think that a pre-World Cup game, South Africa did beat Japan 41 points to something. But then that Japanese team have been way different.
That's without the Tokyo Stadium packed with red jerseys. The South Africans, that sort of passion and nation getting behind a rugby team hasn't happened since '95.
Yeah,
with the Springboks. Yeah. It's kind of got that air about it of everyone in the stadium knows that something big can happen, historically. And that will really spur on
rewatching the video of Japan on the final sign, kicking the ball out against Scotland. The noise from the crowd was not like a yeah, it was next level. It was you could just see everyone.
And Japanese crowds are usually quiet, bro. They're usually respectful, sit down and watch a game. They were making so much noise.
Yeah, it was so good to watch. But with that said, the South African forward pack, they've got Edsbeth, who is going to rock some bodies. Khaleesi, who's going to rock some bodies. Vermeulen, who's going to rock some bodies. And Peter Steph du Toit, who are going to rock some bodies. All four of those guys are hard hitters. The other four in the pack, the front row, and I forgot his name.
Mate, they just haven't heard of Shotaholia yet. Shotaholia.
That's another thing. That's a good point I forgot to make. The Japanese are the Rugby World Cup XV team, so the team that got selected from the most informed players. Inagaki, the Japanese prop, was chosen.
Is this from last time?
From this World Cup.
Oh, from the pool
stages.
Yeah, they announced one.
Yeah, it's on Instagram. I can show you. So the prop from Japan's there. Leach, the number 6 for Japan is there.
As well.
The number 8 for Japan is there. He's a big boy. He's a large man.
That's crazy.
And then the winger for Matsushima is there. So there's 4 Japanese players. There's only 2 Kiwi
on the bench.
I wouldn't be surprised. So the Japan forward pack is also very good. And their hooker, Hori, I think he would have definitely been up there.
He'd be. I'd put him at number 2.
Yeah.
In my XV.
2 things I think are different to the South African pack and the Japanese pack. The South African pack, extremely physical, more of a drilled team, make tackles, clear out rucks, let's do it again. But I think the Japanese forward pack, something we definitely saw in the Scottish game, is they're a bit more versatile. They can play in the back line, they can run lines. They're not just your typical forward that just goes into a ruck and clears it out, crashes it in. And they're one try. The hooker bounces out a tackle, offloads it to the flank, flanker offloads it to a centre, and then the centre offloads it to a prop. I mean,
that's just good skills.
And that's something you would usually see from a team like New Zealand.
Kiwis do that, yeah.
You know, Anton Leonard-Brown broke through the line against South Africa Who was there in support? Not a back, but a lock. Scott Barrett. And Japan also like that. So I think it's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a huge game,
Yeah,
and I
it'll be
hope Japan can get up.
So we're going to say who we think's going to win?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
South Africa.
I wanted to
It
say
pains me.
Africa.
Japan.
I think South Africa will win by... It can either be close or a lot. I think South Africa will win by 8.
I was going to say 8.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say 7. Give the Japs a bonus point.
It doesn't really matter.
The one thing for me that does it is the forward pack, because the South African forward pack, on average, would probably have 4 or 5 inches on the Japanese forward pack players, and especially in the locks, like Etzebeth and stuff, they are huge.
South Africa's bench coming on also big. We didn't touch on the back line. I think their back lines are a good matchup. Tamura at a 10 is a good matchup for Pollard.
He needs to learn how to kick though.
Tamura,
Penalties, yeah.
he's the highest point scorer at the moment.
Yeah, but he missed quite a few against Scotland.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well that's a big
I
thing.
think it's just like in pressure moments.
Yeah.
Like obviously he can kick because he's the highest point scorer, but
Cheslin Colby is one of the most informed wingers in the World Cup, and he's going to be matched up with either Fukuoka or Matsushima, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
And then the centres is Dialende and Lakanya Am.
Who is Am? I don't even know.
He plays for Sharks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He was the one player on the when I looked at the Springbok lineup, I was like,
Yeah,
Do I know you?
he's a bit of a beast. He's a good
yeah,
player.
okay.
And then Willie LaRue's at the back. I don't know the Japanese centres names and their fullback, but it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be tight. I think the winner will come down to which forward pack performs.
I think it'll be down to Andre Pollard.
Kicking.
And honestly, I'd
drop goals.
No, don't say that.
Did you see Tamura's attempt to drop goal against Scotland? He kicked on the 10-metre line to the right, and it landed pretty much straight ahead before the try line, like 3 metres before.
Didn't even look like an attempt.
No chance, but they got a penalty from it. So
well, if you have advantage, may as well have a shot.
Mm.
He needs to take a few lessons from Matt Dunning. He can teach him how to drop a drop goal.
Yeah. Which now brings us into the semis, which will be predictions from here. So we backed in Australia, New Zealand, Wales, and
I
South
can't believe
Africa.
we backed Australia.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they're literally kicking off in under 4 hours.
Oh, so excited.
Let's go.
I'm so keen.
So Australia versus New Zealand. That's going to be a... This is grim.
This is grim. Can we play Ireland? Can we pick Ireland?
I'm gonna say that it can either go with Australia winning or with New Zealand absolutely smashing Australia.
Pretty sure that's how it works.
You know, New Zealand don't. Yeah, I don't want to mention Bledisloe, but it's either going to be Bledisloe 1 or Bledisloe 2. That's close matches. I don't think happen between teams like Australia and New Zealand, especially when it's crunch time.
It's such mind games, bro. It's just whoever's on top.
Yeah,
They just run away with it. I think one thing we could hope for is another Scott Barrett shoulder to the head. That would be tasty.
Oh, another thing. That's what I forgot to mention. There's been 32 cards in the pool matches.
We should talk about the cards.
32 out of 40 games. That's bad. 7 of those were reds, which means the other 25 were yellows. And I think Samoa had 6 yellows.
Yep, Samoa did definitely win in terms of card count.
That's another good thing. I was looking at the stats yesterday. Teams that are in the finals are teams that haven't shown a card yet, or especially a red card. Ireland have shown a red card with
Dude, Australia's had 3 yellows.
No, I mean red cards then, sorry, because there's been 7. New Zealand haven't. South Africa haven't. Japan haven't. Wales haven't. France haven't.
Yeah,
the only
it's
team
just
that has
Ireland.
is Ireland.
Bandiaki.
And then when you get into the yellow cards, it's a similar thing. Japan have barely had... I don't think Japan have had any yellow cards. New Zealand, I'm pretty sure, haven't.
Ooh.
Australia have had 3.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that is a good sign of discipline, but also the refs
England
have been
has
a
had
little
quite
bit...
a few cards.
And if you drop a player in a quarterfinal, that could be a make or break it.
Mate, I can't wait for Owen Farrell to get
And
red carded.
Isn't the 2 French refs reffing the Australia-England game?
Don't even get me started. Literally, my 2 least favourite referees, Romain Poit and Jerome Garces. I was like, so I looked online. I was like, okay, so who's going to be refereeing the quarterfinals? Surely we got a decent selection. So we got the referee, on-field referee is Jerome Garces.
Yeah.
Touch
TMO
judge
is the skiing guy.
TMO is been skiing. You have to be kidding me.
Oh.
And it was a game I was watching recently. Jerome Garces was refereeing, and Ben Skeen was in his ear the whole time, just yapping on mate, you're the TMO. Nobody should know your name. Just cool it.
Look at this. So this is a photo on Rugby Pass. Owen Farrell and
Nigel Owens.
And the caption is, "You have my word, Owen. These Frenchies will ping everything the Aussies do, and if anyone touches you, Benny boy, we'll be onto it in a flash." Okay, lad. See you in the semi. But that's before the game got cancelled. Here we go. The trio: Jerome Garcias, Romain Poit, and Ben Skeen, all to be in refereeing team for quarterfinal clash between England and Australia.
You're kidding. I genuinely couldn't believe it when I saw. I was like, why would they give us 2 French refs? All I can hope for is that the French nationalism hates England, right? So
Good. Yeah,
I'm hoping for a little bit of an unconscious bias on Farrell, red card. And then, the rest is history. Australia wins the World Cup.
But Australia and New Zealand, should we have a prediction?
This is going to hurt. Yeah, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. New Zealand.
But I still am not sold on New Zealand beating Ireland.
And in Australia beating England.
Yeah, that's fair. We don't know.
Well, that leaves the second alternative. Let's go say we get it wrong, and it's Ireland, England. That would be a very good match.
Ireland, England, I think England would kill Ireland. Just because they would have just put everything on the line to beat the All Blacks.
Mm-hmm.
They would have nothing left. They would pick up a few injuries in that game. England would just be like, all right, sweet, this is walk in the park.
Yeah. But,
What about England, New Zealand? What would you say?
I actually was going to say England.
England?
Yeah. But
Yeah, maybe.
just because of their form. But I think we can't put New Zealand's form aside. They're the only team that's had the biggest victory, and they're the highest team in the competition. They're the only team in the competition that have the biggest win in terms of points and victory. So 2 separate games.
They only played for 3 games. They only played 3 games.
So they've had a bit of a break for a week now.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. Some
England
of my friends
as
were
well,
saying
yeah.
that Lee Sowa was saying it looked like an excuse, saying that New Zealand have had a break for a week, but I think that could be a good thing. Time to really focus, knuckle down, chill out. I think that's big for them. Less injuries, less risk of red cards. But we've subbed in New Zealand.
Australia, New Zealand, so yep.
So
New
now
Zealand.
it's
I'm afraid.
Wales versus... Where is it? What's your shirt?
Wales, South Africa.
Wales, South Africa.
The showdown.
Yeah, this will be a good game. Pity South Africa's going to have to win it.
Yeah. See, I'd have to agree with you. No matter how this plays out, South Africa makes the final.
With
And I
New
hate
Zealand.
it. I hate it.
With New Zealand.
Well, if Ireland win, Australia beats Ireland. Australia, Springbok final.
Come on. Australia-Japan final.
Oh, easy. I'll go Japan. That would be beast.
Oh my gosh.
If Japan beats Springboks, would Japan beat Wales?
Yes. I think they will.
It's toasty.
I think they will seriously do some damage to Wales. And then they'll go to the final and either play Australia, England, Ireland, or New Zealand, and they've already done damage to Ireland. So...
There's no way Ireland makes the final.
But we're going to say South Africa go through.
South Africa it is correct.
Which means New Zealand...
By
South
how
Africa.
much?
We
We didn't say how much with the Kiwis as well.
Yeah, that one's hard to call.
Australia, New Zealand, I'd say New Zealand by
12.
12, yeah.
South Africa, Wales, I would say South Africa by maybe 7 or 8. Be a close game.
My heart says Wales. My heart says anyone except for Springboks, really. So, Springboks by 4.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Which is now the final, New Zealand versus South Africa, and
Whoa! Who wins that?
South Africa?
Nah. Nah. We said that last time, in like the first video, we said South Africa, but
Yeah,
I just don't-
don't know.
I
think
don't
New
see
Zealand
how-
could win it again.
I don't want New Zealand to go 4 in a row. 3 in a row, so. That's crazy.
Should we just have a rock, paper, scissors on South Africa, you, New Zealand?
Yeah, I'll go Kiwi. I'm a little bit Kiwi, so that's
We're
fair.
gonna paper, scissors, rock. Okay.
Oh! This is... How is this happening? Yeah! Kiwis!
We need to watch that and see how many we got.
Wow, that was live and that was insane. We just kept getting the same thing. I don't think it's ever gone that long. Fully bully. Well done to the Kiwis, I
Yeah,
suppose.
goodbye. Well, let's just get on with the next thing.
Should we hit those listeners' questions?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We a lot of people doubted our videos, but I looked at the geographical locations of where people were watching our first video, and there were people in South Africa, but I couldn't review it for our second video. It was a bit sad. It just
couldn't
wouldn't
you
show
review?
it.
The analytics or whatever.
Yeah. It said like 60% of the viewers are in Australia, and pretty much the other 40 were overseas. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
That's,
So
these are our comments. We go just top to bottom.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you want to go
the Q&A. Oh no.
Q&A?
Yeah. So Connor Gibbons, how long did it take you to move the car?
Oh, that's a reference to the second episode. If you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, you have to go watch it.
Probably like 5 minutes, 33 seconds.
I think it was exactly 5 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, there's your answer, Connor.
There you go. He's
Oh,
followed it up with a second
a
question.
genuine rugby question.
Genuine.
Do you want to read it?
So also, which teams do you think are the strongest they've been? And if they aren't, why not? And when were they at their strongest? Okay, Japan is at their peak. So what teams are at their peak now? And if not, why not?
So Japan.
Japan is at their peak.
But I would also say England.
England is
pretty high.
pretty much at their peak.
Yeah.
But they didn't get to play France. They haven't had a hard game since Argentina. And even then, that wasn't really hard because Lavanini got a red card.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. So we're subbing Japan.
Japan's
we
definitely
think,
hitting their straps.
the hardest. And if they aren't, why not? So who isn't their strongest?
I think South Africa is pretty good.
Strong.
They're up there with where they should
Should we just
be.
do who do we think isn't the strongest out of the top 8?
France.
France.
France is the only thing consistent about France is that they're inconsistent.
Who else is Ireland?
Wales.
It's been a bit of an inconsistent World Cup, I'd say, for the big teams. You know.
Dan Bigger failed his HIA. Hey, he can't play against France.
Oh, he did get whacked.
Reece Patch was
Did he
starting
get
then.
whacked by his own player?
Yeah, George Nor.
That's
It was
bad.
it was a hit to the head.
It
or
was a
something.
jump. Didn't he go and catch the ball?
Yeah.
That's unlucky.
So Dan Bigger, I don't think he's playing against France because of his head. To be fair, if you get 2 concussions in a row,
That's pretty
like
bad.
in regular rugby, that'd be 3 weeks out.
Mm.
But Dan Bigger, apparently they said he was substituted, so they didn't have to do the HIA. But then
That's
he ended
bad.
up failing it anyway. So he doesn't have the mandatory 3 weeks because Wales was a little bit sneaky. Just subbed him so he didn't have to do the HIA.
That's
But
quite smart.
it's not good for his brain.
So which team we don't think are the strongest is France. Yeah, we would say France. And when were they at their strongest? That's a hard one. I mean, 2007, they knocked out New Zealand in the semis, lost the finals. Oh, no. No,
Yeah,
they
they
knocked
lost
out New
the
Zealand in
final
the
to-
quarter.
Yeah,
It was the final South Africa, England.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they knocked out New Zealand in the quarter. Very good. 11, they went all the way to the finals.
So
So
they nearly
that-
did it if it wasn't for Steve McDonald.
Nearly. Then 2015 they went to the semis but got an absolute hiding by New Zealand. That's when
they made the semis.
they did make the semis. So France I'd say their highest would be 2011.
2011 was
Yeah.
probably the peak in recent eras anyway.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with years before that. And then Toby Ramu _Senju second Hockage said social media question mark.
Social media question mark.
We are thinking of making a Mimi Instagram account. So we will tell you if we do make it.
You have to comment, no, don't do that if you don't think we should do it.
Yeah,
But if you don't, then we're just going to go ahead with it.
yeah. Connor Gibbons has
Oh, he's got a
come
third
back.
comment.
I'm backing in Ireland to go the full distance.
Back in.
I think if Ireland were to win it, they would have to beat New Zealand, go through to either beat England or Australia, then go through to either beat Japan, South Africa, Wales, or France. And I don't see that happening, you know. But we
Yeah.
shouldn't underestimate them. But also, Bundyarki's out now, which was a key player in their thing. But you can't put a whole team on one player. But I think if they have
We've
more
got
injuries
people
in
like
the
Joey
centres,
Carberry.
but imagine that he gets injured. They have another person in the centres. they get
That's what I
injured.
mean. Well, what's going to happen is if they beat New Zealand,
They're going to
they
have
have no one
casualties.
they're
Yeah,
just going to put on their B team to get minced by Australia.
yeah. So Connor, we are
We can say maybe they'll beat the Kiwis, but that's probably as far as they go. Losing the semi
lose to Australia.
or England.
Do you want to read Jin Ali?
Jin Ali says, I've put my house back on mortgage so I can double it on Japan next game. Quality content. Thanks, lads.
And you know, Jin Ali is making reference to the Japan-Scotland game.
I think Jin Ali has just doubled his life
Is that a
savings.
Jin girl? You guy.
Good on him. That was a good bet to make, and you can thank us later.
Quality content, things like Jen, can you please comment in this video if you made that decision off what we said? Because we would also like to hear how excited you are that Japan did beat Scotland.
Yeah, we can give you a call, and
Ooh.
we'll also give you our BSB and account number because obviously we helped you win all that money.
So, Tom Norman, you want to read that?
Tom Norman, who I know, good rugby player, good content, he says. Who are you backing in at 10 for Australia, and does it matter as long as they can get it to Samoa at 12? Good follow-up as well.
So, who are we backing in at 10?
I'm
Michael Check has
really-
done Christian Leali'ifano.
For this
I
one.
think you're going to say Tamua.
I love Tamua.
I would say... I sort of want to say Bernard Foley, but I haven't watched him play. But I would also say for a team against England that's really well drilled, Christian Leali'ifano is a well drilled number 10. And he's like more about building a rhythm. But Tamua is a little bit more like pizzazz. You know? So
Tamua he's just good. He's just like solid, always does what he's meant to do.
does his job.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything too fancy, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
He's just a solid player.
I'm going to say Tamua. We've been talking for almost an
We
hour.
could just chat forever.
Yeah.
I think Bernard is not really the go. He doesn't have any confidence at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but I wouldn't back him in a big game at the moment.
But it doesn't matter as long as they get it to Samu at 12. I think what matters is they've got to use the whole back line. If they are solely relying on Samu at 12, especially now that he's marked against Tuolagi, I think it does matter if they get it to Samu at 12, but I think what would be awesome is if Samu can also pass it out of there.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
So I'd go Tamua and then Karevi outside of him, and then I'd probably go James O'Connor outside of him, but they've gone Patel.
Yeah. So that's it for comments.
Phil Collick commented first,
yeah.
just because he wanted to be the first comment. Good on you.
Good work, Phil.
Well done, Phil.
So I also noticed.
What are you doing?
Ty Harrington.
Ty Harrington. Oh, I think, should we give him a call?
Yeah.
What are we quizzing him on?
We did contact Drew Mitchell if he wanted to have a thing, but we had to cancel that with him. Then I did message two of South Africa's greatest ever rugby players, Sean de Villiers and John Smith, but they couldn't get back to us because John Smith's in Japan. Understandably, he's enjoying it, and Jean de Villiers is back in South Africa, I think. So the time zone difference, So we're calling in the next best alternative.
Yeah, well, I was at the pub the other night with Quay Cooper, and he said he was really keen to get on the show, and but unfortunately he's got some sort of family emergency. He didn't really want to go into it, but fair enough. Quade, we'll get you next time, mate.
So we're calling the next best alternative Ty Harrington.
Put it on speakerphone. What are we going to ask him?
Who do you think's will win? Who's his fan though? Who his favourite player is? This is the meme section of the video now.
Made it.
Yeah. If you've just skipped... Ty, this is Wes. How are you?
How you doing, brother?
I'm here with Xavier.
Hey, bro. How you going?
We're currently, live viewing our third podcast, and we've decided to get a celebrity appearance on, and we wanted to call you. Do you have time to talk?
Yeah, sure. Loud, but I'm just at work, so...
Oh, yeah, work? Okay, well, we'll ask you one question then. Who do you think is going to go the whole way in the World Cup?
Just put it up to the mic.
What I've been viewing...
No, who do you think's going to win it?
Oh, definitely Japan.
Japan? Yeah,
I like
my
it.
Man.
Definitely Japan.
Yep.
Just with the people they have, and it's not with what they have, it's more how they do it, you know what I mean? It's definitely underdogs, and they definitely show spirit, and they definitely don't have that compared to other teams,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you think if they were able to beat Ireland and Scotland and go on to beat South Africa, they could definitely go and beat Wales or France and then just take it home all the way?
100%. Well, it's just a snowball effect, I reckon it will happen.
Yeah.
And people will start backing them. So, yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that, Ty. Enjoy your work. And we will link you in the video.
Awesome. Thank you. I can't wait. Keep it up, boys.
Thanks for being on, mate.
See you, Ty.
See you, mate. Bye.
Guest appearance. Wow, that was so nice of him to come on. I know he's been pretty busy with the Sharks over in Durban. So it was very nice of him.
He said he was at work, so he's actually at pre-season training.
Pre-season training, yeah.
So,
boot camp.
That's it for this. I mean, well, we got to do one of these things for the... So that's Hurricane Xavier and Wesley coming
Hurricane Xavier. That's too soon, bro. That's way too soon.
No. This is the meme time now. So if you've just skipped it to the end, you're really going to be confused.
Should we aim for exactly an hour?
Yeah, so 30 seconds
now.
now.
You just got to wait half a minute.
If you've literally skipped to the last minute, there's no more rugby content from here.
If you have just joined us, basically the Wallabies are going to go all the way and
versus
lift
Japan.
the trophy. Yeah, they're going to play safe.
This is how it's going to. Japan's going to be in the final versus Australia. Last minute try from Japan. Bang, win the game. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you next time.